Hey guys, as usual, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share this so we can grow the channel. And let's get into this. So you might hear some sirens in the background. I guess there was an accident nearby or something like that, so I'm not really sure. But anyways, sorry about that. So I'm going to get into this. I analyze the script. I look at the storylines. I look at the continuity. And I know you guys don't want to hear about a Grogu problem because you all love Grogu. I love Grogu too. He's super cute and super nice, and I like the concept. But Grogu has created now a bit of a problem. And it just seems like everything that they're doing, all of their ideas, because they don't take into account the overall storyline and flush out the timeline and everything else that's come before, they keep doing these types of things to create more problems, and then then they'll have to write some other comic book, or they'll have to do something to fix them. And so this is the Grogu problem. So I'm going to sort of break down a few points and then kind of get to the main crux of the matter. So the first thing is, Yoda never even implied that his race of aliens was inherently force gifted, like out of the womb, automatically. And what I mean by that is, yes, Anakin had midichlorians, but I'm talking about there was never an implication that his race had like the most midichlorians and they were the super force gifted. That was never even implied. Sorry, you might actually hear some little kids too. My kids being loud again, but anyways. He never implied that. This is a guy who lived to be 900 plus years old, and he never even implied it, right? So that's strange at the very least, right? It's the least strange. Okay, and the next point I wanted to make was Grogu was actually. It seems to be implied at the very least that he's more powerful than Yoda was at his age, right? Because like you think about it, Yoda's again over 900 years old, and he can lift an X-wing out of the water, or he could in the prequels, take the Senate seat things and spin them around. He could pick up pretty large objects, but he was over 900 years old. He's been a force user for how long? This kid's already stopping a rhino mid, almost something similar in size to, say, one of those Senate seat things. No problems. And he's 50 years old. He's the equivalent of a 2-year-old who has virtually no training, really. And even if he did, he's basically a 2-year-old. The other thing is he heals. Yoda never healed. So we're saying he's born inherently with this ability to heal. This race of aliens is, but Yoda didn't have that. So you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't seem to add up and make a whole lot of sense. And this is a big one for me. If this race is so automatically powerful in the Force, right? Like they're born this way and they're super important, and the Empire's after them, and again, they're just using this whole concept of him being that powerful to justify the Force, the fact that Palpatine was a clone but still could use the Force, because the whole lore before that was that it was very difficult to clone a Force user, and the Force wouldn't transfer to the clone, and yada yada yada. So that's why they made up this thing, again, to justify Palpatine. But the problem is, if this race was so automatically powerful in the Force, why wouldn't they have been protected for all this time? Right? Like, this was never discussed in any previous timeline of Star Wars. Oh, there's this race that's super duper powerful. As the Jedi, we should probably, prioritize protecting those people, that race of aliens, because that's really important. So even if we were to assume Yoda was the only known one of this race, right? Wouldn't he at some point have suggested that the Jedi Order make sure to protect them? Like, he lived for 1,000 years and never mentioned it. He never said, "Hey guys, there's I come from this race of extraordinarily, midichlorian heavy beings, more than any other being in the galaxy, but I'm not going to mention it. Whatever happens to them happens to them. That's that's just my race, my extended family. Whatever, who cares?" And we know that there must have been more of them because Grogu was born from someone. So there had to be more of these creatures. So again, you've created a situation now where now I have to question, why was this never a thing before? Why was it never brought up? The Jedi, ruled, protectors of the galaxy for 1,000 generations, and yet all that time, 20,000 years, if it's 1,000 generations, now they're trying to say 1,000 years. I don't know, it's such a mess. But anyways, all that time, nobody thought to, hey, this is pretty important stuff. Maybe we should prioritize these guys because they're like extremely powerful, and we don't want bad guys getting a hold of them, and we want to train them ourselves for our cause. Right? This creates a problem. Let's say that was the case, that they did protect this race of super midichlorian creatures. Let's say that was the case. Well, then it would kind of make Star Wars kind of diminish. It would kind of suck because then that would just mean that the Jedi could just make sure to recruit all these green guys and just dominate forever. So it creates a problem on either end now. And so my final point is all of this problematic stuff. All of this is a result of these idiots bringing back Palpatine. It's that simple. They had to justify Palpatine, then it's Palpatine clone, then it's. But the only way you could do that is if you had the blood of this super high midichlorian count race. Oh, so that means all the races like that. Oh, but then why weren't they like that before? How come we didn't know? How come Yoda didn't mention it? How come they didn't protect them? Like it just adds. It's a snowball. It's the sequels begetting just more and more problems. Continuity issues, force power issues, lore issues. If you've seen my videos, I have a bunch of videos that are detailed about these problems. And it's all because they just won't decanonize the sequels. That if they just did that, all of this nonsense ends. All of it ends. But they wouldn't do that. And they're using these shows now to try to explain the problems with the sequels, and it's creating now more problems and more problems and more problems and more problems. And every week it's just another new problem. And then we'll buy the book to figure it out, and then you buy the book and then that doesn't make sense. You got the Vader comic book with the Luke hand and all this stuff. Like it just compounds and compounds and compounds, all because they brought Palpatine back and had to justify it and justify his stupid massive fleet out of nowhere. What a dumb mess they've created. So anyways, guys, Grogu's very cute. I like the character. When his ears are flapping and everything, it's the cutest thing ever. I love him. He's eating the cookie, and I love the ball and all that. So I love it. It's great. It's cute. But he's created a problem. He's created another problem now that they're going to try and solve, which will create another problem, which then they'll try and solve, which will create another problem. That's what they're doing. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm being over the top? I don't know. You let me know, please. Once again, like and subscribe, and thanks for supporting the channel, and have a good day.